He was accused of murdering 4 people. Here's what happened. On Thursday, April 21st, 2022, the Arkansas State Police were called in by the Stone County Sheriff's Office to handle a murder investigation. On April 21st, just after 2 p.m., police were called to 646 Northcutt Road in Stone County. Now, at that residence, 77-year-old Shirley Waters lived there with her 55-year-old son, James Waters. Now, police were called to that home, and at that home, they found 2 bodies, the bodies of Shirley and James. Both Shirley and James had been shot in the head with a small caliber weapon. It was about 8 hours later when police found the bodies of William and Sharon Trammell at their home. They had also been murdered. Now, when police found the Trammells, they were laying on the floor of their bedroom. There was broken glass at their back door. It seemed like someone got into the home by way of busting that glass and making their way into that door. Now, it came to police's attention that there was a person that borrowed a gun from one of the neighbors of the Trammells. The neighbor told police that he had loaned Donnie Trammell a .38, a .357, and some ammunition because Donnie Trammell, who was the son of Mr. and Mrs. Trammell, said that he had a coyote problem and he was looking to take care of that. The person loaned that gun to Donnie Trammell on April 20th, so just a day before the murders happened. But Donnie Trammell never gave that gun back. Now, police were able to use the fact that Donnie never gave the gun back as a way to get a search warrant to look for that gun in Donnie Trammell's belongings. When police got that search warrant based on the fact that Donnie Trammell essentially stole this firearm from his neighbor because he borrowed it and he didn't give it back, they weren't able to find that firearm or any of the firearms that he borrowed, but they were able to find another firearm that he was in possession of that he shouldn't have been in possession of because he was a felon. They also found that he was in possession of a moonshine still worm. So Donnie Trammell got arrested on April 27th, which was about a week after the murder, for being in possession of that moonshine still, for being in possession of a firearm, and for theft of a firearm. Police also learned that the Trammells were actually afraid of their son. They were enough afraid of their son that they kept a shotgun out of the gun safe that they had in order to defend themselves against Donnie if he were to come in their home intending to do them harm. Police didn't find the shotgun of the Trammells in their home when they found their bodies, but they did find a shotgun in Donnie Trammell's possession when they arrested him. That's the gun that he was in possession of. Other evidence that police were able to come up with was that at the Trammells' home, they found a .38 shell casing. And remember, a .38 was one of the weapons that Donnie Trammell borrowed from a neighbor. They also learned that Donnie Trammell's phone was mysteriously shut off from the time that Donnie Trammell borrowed those weapons from his neighbor until after the murders were already committed. So that's like a 24-hour plus period of time his phone was shut off. That wasn't all the evidence that police had against Donnie Trammell, though. Donnie Trammell also had a girlfriend, and that girlfriend told police that around the time of the murder, in that time frame, that Donnie Trammell had left the home that she shared with Donnie Trammell. He was talking about demons when he left the home. He seemed to be in some sort of altered state. Now, when he came back to the home, he listed the 4 victims and said that he had taken care of the demons. So all of this is adding up to Donnie Trammell being the one that murdered his parents and also his neighbors. But it seems like maybe Donnie Trammell had some sort of mental health issue that could have led to his murdering his parents and his neighbors. At first, I started to feel like maybe there was a mental health component to this, but then I started to think about things like how he borrowed weapons from some other neighbor like a whole day in advance, how other people came forward and said that Donnie had repeatedly talked about how he wanted to unalive his parents. Other people said that Donnie had a kill list that was a list of people that he planned to kill, said he could get away with it by killing them, shooting them, and throwing the gun in the river. A police report said that Donnie had an issue with the Waters because of something that had happened like at church. He got banned from the church and they wouldn't let him hunt or fish on their property. I mean, honestly, if somebody like Donnie Tramble came to my house wanting to hunt on it, it's going to be a no for me too. So, I don't know. Maybe these things were reasons that he was angry with them and he just allowed his, you know, evil thoughts, or however you want to put that, to take over. Was it a mental health issue to the point that he didn't have control of his own actions? I don't think so, because not only did all of this happen, but when he was in jail and phone calls are being recorded, he also told his girlfriend not to talk to the police. So it seems like he knew what he did was wrong. He knew, and ahead of time enough that he was going to do it because he borrowed the weapons. So in May 2022, Donnie Trammell was charged with 4 counts of murder, 2 counts of aggravated residential burglary, and 1 count of being a felon in possession of a firearm. Now, Donnie Trammell was charged in May of 2022, but as you know, it's 2024. Now, last week, Donnie Trammell did accept a plea deal. He agreed to plead guilty to the murders and the being a felon in possession of a firearm. In exchange for that, he was sentenced to 720 months in the Arkansas Department of Corrections, which translates to 60 years.